item on the agenda is Superintendent's report. Mr. Harris.
Several things. First of all, in conjunction with what Judy said, we felt like for everyone involved, y'all, our principals that are going to be sitting on the negotiating team, their people that are going to be sitting on the negotiation team, it would be a good chance for y'all to hear the training from Charles and others about how the process works, why it works the way it does, and things like that. I think it'll be a good opportunity for everyone to know then as we go into it the next month and get started, kind of exactly what's going on and how it's working. And I'm looking forward to setting in on that myself, having not been through the process. So I'm sure I'll learn a lot. Along with what Judy said, along with NEA, there's been a request come to the district to allow the COPS, which is now get me right here, it's the classified office personnel, which is, and I don't mean to put him up, mainly our secretaries and some people like that to be allowed to be bargained for. I have asked Judy if we're going to do this, if she would be willing to do the card drive for me so I can see what the interest is from the people that are involved. And then after we do the card drive and see what the interest is, then we'll be back to you with a number and a percentage or whatever, and then the board can make decisions that they need to make at that time. But we are going to go ahead and do the card drive. I don't know when they'll do it, in January sometime.
We started it already.
Okay.
In January.
So once we have the card drive finished and have those numbers available as far as interest is concerned, then we'll be back and see where that goes. You have in your packet the Director of Appropriations request that we've put together. Let me first make an apology to you. I thought this was done in January, and it is done in January, but I thought it was with the Legislative Committee, and I was late getting started on it. What we had planned on doing originally, because of what had happened with other schools in the state, and we felt like we had a really, really good chance of getting the money, and with not being into our master plan yet, we decided to go ahead and put together a proposal for the money for the artificial turf at the football field. Not meaning that athletics is more important than anything else, but this is an opportunity for me to go through the process with a project that I feel like I can have a good chance of succeeding with. And I think it's more than needed. If you've read the proposal, you'll see that we think we'll have a savings if we do this of approximately $88,000 a year. One of the things that concerns me about direct appropriations is, of course, that it comes off the top of anything that you do public school finance-wise. And we've said that comes off the top. But really and truly, only 31% of that comes off the top. That's all we're responsible for. So it would be, if we get this appropriation, the amount of money that we would really be responsible for later, if it comes into play, would be $222,000, which Dave and I both feel like is an amount that we can more than live with if we can get a $750,000 project done and get the money for it and only be responsible, even if the possibility exists, for $222,000 of it later on. Then we feel like that's a really good deal. And out of that $222,000, it will pay itself off in 2.5 years in maintenance cost and water and everything else. So we feel like it's an excellent project, and I wanted to present it to you tonight. I know that it's not really something you vote on, but I'd really like to get your input. If it's something you don't want to do, then we won't go to the meeting on January 4th and present it. But I had to get it in to get on the agenda for the 4th, and that's kind of where we're at with it. I think it's an excellent project. Number one, I think it'll start us in the right direction with our master plan and get things started just a little bit early, and that'll be one thing that we don't have to worry about then in the master plan, and it'll go from there. So if you've got any feedback for me, if you'd rather I didn't, well, tell me. I don't mind pulling it and starting, some other way.
Any comments from the board?
I'll just say, personally, after looking at it, when I first heard the idea, I wasn't sure that would be a top priority with everything else that needs to go on with the schools, but when you actually look at the image that it presents for the school would be a very good image, number one. Number two, I didn't even dream of the amount of savings that we would have. So, initially, yeah, we have a little bit of upfront money that we have to put out, but the savings in the long run will be astronomical.
Really, truly, if we get the money, there is no upfront money. I mean, later on, we might be responsible for $200,000, but if you do a bond election, Dave and I feel like we have enough experience to make that work within whatever bond we decide to go out for, and make that $200,000 work within that, as far as interest and other things, taking care of that. So he or I, neither one are real concerned about that part of it. Let me go on. And Jan is here. We have set some school closings for March. Everyone needs to be aware of when the New Mexico State test is given. Joe, you know what those exact dates are for the juniors?
Mr. Money. Yeah, I was going to say Bob.
Oh, there's Bob down in the back.
Yeah.
Bob, I'm glad you're here. Can you give me those dates? Because I forgot to write them down on my paper here. The high school will close, so we can give the test to the 11th graders without a lot of commotion. Same way we did it last year. We did it last year with 2 grades, right?
Yes, sir, we did. And this year the PED decided we're not going to be testing that grade. Just logistics of doing the testing, we do need to close the school for everybody else. I know that sounds kind of tough. This is kind of the way it needs to work. And we do have the testing date set for the 27th and 28th of February, which is a Wednesday and Thursday, and then the 5th and 6th of March, which is a Wednesday and Thursday. So it's the 2 weeks back to back there. First 2 weeks of our testing window, and should be able to accomplish everything we need to in those 2 weeks and just 4 days.
And thank you for sending this
Thanks,
schedule
Bob.
through, Mr. Harris. That was very nice.
Thank you.